Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode with MTG Josh. Today we will be looking at the 5 mana Purphoros from the Purphoros Beyond Death set. It's 7/6 indestructible. As long as your devotion to red is less than 5, Purphoros isn't a creature. Pretty simple. Other creatures you control have haste. It's going to be really relevant with the next ability. You can pay 2 in red to put a red creature card or an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So the idea with this deck is you basically want to put in a load of big chunguses. And as you can see from the curve here, we have a lot of heavy hitters. Meteor Golem's really nice, paying 3 mana to get that out with haste is pretty nice. Destroy something. Dragaseth coming in, being able to attack, dealing 4 damage to something and 3 damage to each of the 2 things. Really powerful. And one of my favourites is Itali, Primal Storm. So you can cast that for 6 mana, or you can cheat it out for 3. When it attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying the mana cost. So the advantage just from that alone is just incredible, because those things will stick around even if Itali doesn't. So yeah, to support getting to Purphoros quickly, we're going to have stuff that makes a few treasures, like Strike It Rich, which is really decent, because you can flash that back and make a couple of treasures. And you've got Magda. Whenever she attacks, create a treasure, and also, last but not least, you've got Captain Landry Storm. Whenever she attacks, create a treasure. So with all these ramp cards in mind, you should be able to get to Purphoros fairly easy, give all your creatures haste, get a big guy down, and swing in for the win. So let's get into some games and see how well we do today. Don't forget, if you like the look of this deck, you can find the deck list in the description below, and why not leave me a like if you think it's pretty cool, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this. Okay, so opponent goes first with the Gitrog monster. There will be a Golgari Graveyard Recursion deck, looking to ramp a lot, sack a lot, draw a lot. Starting hand is okay. We've got early removal for their ramp, and a Maze Mind Tome to refill our hand, so it's not too bad. And then we have Inferno of the Starmance, which is a very nice dragon creature, can't be countered, flying haste. You can pay red to give it +1/+0 until our turn, and when its power becomes 20 this way, it deals 20 damage to any target. So it's unlikely we're going to get that ability off, but we can always dream, can't we? We've got the Demolish to destroy an artifact or land, which could be relevant before the Gitrog monster comes out, hopefully. Now, I want them to play a ramp creature. Okay, so that's a shame. So they're going to be getting to Gitrog a lot closer than we want them to. So knowing what green ramp's like, they might even be able to cast Gitrog next turn. Tireless Provisioner comes down. Okay, so they've got a bit of a landfall synergy here. Whenever they play a land, probably make a treasure. Okay, so unfortunately we don't have the mana to get rid of the Provisioner just yet. Okay, so well, at least that came out before Gitrog did, because they would have drawn 2 cards from that. Not too bothered about getting an extra land just yet. But I definitely want to kill the Provisioner here. Now, it's very risky playing Lotus Field in this kind of deck, because if I kill the Bonner's Enclave, they have to sacrifice a land during their upkeep, so they'll have to get rid of the Lotus Field. So we'll see what happens here. It's very likely that we do demolish one of their lands. So they do have 5 mana to go for Gitrog, but as I said, it's very risky right now. Wow, okay, going for Gitrog. Have we actually just won the game then? So, destroy the Bonner's Enclave. So they will draw a card here, don't forget. But also, in their upkeep, they're going to sacrifice the Lotus Field. So that's 3 mana just there. And they've basically just put all their eggs in one basket. Pretty happy I captured this game, actually. I've never seen this before, but I guess they're going to start building the lands up. And then we can Maze Mind Tome. If we can find a removal spell. Stone Rain. That's a crazy card to keep on top. See, we'll definitely keep this. We won't do it next turn, because I want to go for Purphoros first, I think. Mox Amber. They got very lucky, so they went from 0 lands to having 3 in one turn. So yeah, we'll go for Purphoros here. So we're going to set up the next turn where we could go for Meteor Golem and potentially something else if we need to. Probably Meteor Golem and then Stone Rain to take them off their mana. So yeah, we are getting hit for 6, and they can play an additional land on each of their turns, so we'll see how this goes. They don't have any forests. Oh, they do have the Mox Amber saying that. So we're going to have to be careful. Considering they went to 0 lands, they're doing insanely well. So we'll be down to 13. And yeah, I'm happy to scry here, and we're getting a bit of life just to see what anything useful on top. Yeah, we don't want another land just yet. Okay, so we're going to put the Meteor Golem into play. And kill the Gitrog monster. And since they're a heavily synergized deck, let's go for the forest and don't feel guilty about it. Do they have Heroic Intervention here? Doesn't look like they do. And we can even swing in for 3. So we'll lose the Golem at the end of the combat. But I think we've subdued them quite a lot. We're getting to the point now where we don't even have to use Purphoros. So this is why the deck's filled with huge creatures. Because eventually we can just cast them out. Storm's Wrath is quite nice. But yeah, let's go for the Incinerator here. It's going to have haste with Purphoros as well. Down to 16, and we will play the land because if we eventually do get the Inferno out, we can boost it a little bit. So Chandra's Incinerator says it costs X less to cast, where X is the total amount of combat damage dealt to you this turn. Whenever source you control, sorry, I was reading that, would deal non-combat damage to an opponent that deals that much damage to a target creature or planeswalker. So it would have been nice to have that out. But yeah, let's go for the Burning Sun's Avatar here. Considering they went to 0 lands, this is ridiculous. They should probably be dead. So swing for another 6. This is basically like having an Inferno Titan. Comes in, deals 3 damage to creature and player, so they're at 7. Fortunately, it doesn't have any more triggers once it's come down that first time. But depending on what they do, if they have a kill spell for the Burning Sun's Avatar, then we might just be able to get them with the Inferno here. So we'll see what happens. So you can tell they're getting desperate because they're starting to discard and draw. Thankfully, the Cultivator Colossus is in the graveyard. Scoot Swarm, so now they don't have any aerial defense. Could be good for us going for the Inferno. We even have the Storm's Wrath to deal with their stuff. So because I'm a bit scared with their mana open, I think I'm going to go for the Storm's Wrath first. Because if they had like a kill spell... Okay, I guess we might as well go for the Inferno now because they only have green mana open. And let's see if we can swing in with the Alpha. Sweet, yeah, that's pretty lucky actually. Gitrog monster is notoriously tough to deal with. Opponent goes first with Joda. Okay, and our starting hand is... It's actually not too bad. We've got the Sweltering Suns for when Joda comes in, so we can kill him. We've got the Iron Crag Feet, which is a really awesome sorcery. Pay 4, get 7 mana. So on turn 4, I can actually get out Fire Emancipation or the Anglass Marauders, which is just bonkers. It's going to be a 5-colour deck, despite saying that it has a Jeskai casting cost, which is always very powerful. You can play 5 rather than the mana cost of spells. So you can cast a 20 mana spell for 5, which is pretty powerful. So we're definitely going to want to kill him when he comes out with the Sweltering Suns. And I hope we get our 4th mana in time so we can get all this juicy stuff out. It's tempting to go Ironcrag Feet and Emancipation because I can't cheat that out with Purphoros, but I can cheat the creatures out, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, so I guess we'll go for the mountain again. We don't need to play that as a land just yet. Comes in untapped anyway, so we'll see what happens. Do they have white mana to cast Joda? Or maybe they have some other move they want to do. Cold Steel Heart. Okay, so they're going to go for the ramp so they can get the white mana the following turn. Makes sense. Now let's hope they don't have a negate here, because that would be very sad. Okay. So yeah, we'll go for the Emancipation. Okay, so our permanents deal... Sorry, if a source you control will deal damage to a permanent player, it deals triple damage to that permanent player instead, so it's pretty awesome if it survives. It's very threatening, so the chance of it living is quite unlikely. Into the Royal, bounces back to hand, yep. Fair enough, at least it's not destroyed, I guess. So they could go for Joda. Playing Faceless Haven in... Oh wow, Golos. Golos, wow, okay. It's been a while since I've seen this guy, but... So they're going to have 7 mana in their turn. Can't even kill it, can I? That's a real shame, because if the Emancipation was out, the Sweltering Suns could have killed him. They're going to be able to wheel in their next turn. So that can only deal 3 damage. I guess to optimize mana, we go for Purphoros here. That's a real shame. But of course, the game would pit me against a tier 1 deck. What do they get? Triskai, deck of File, and the Blood on the Snow. So to be honest, pretty tame. Especially now Field of the Dead is gone. 6 mana. So yeah, let's go for the Emancipation and hope they don't have a way to blow it up. Because then if they go for anything else in their turn, we can Sweltering Suns, dealing 9 damage to each creature. So that's going to be mega. Oh my goodness, the ultimatum. So they're going to go for the infinite combo. Well, not the infinite. Well, they're going to go for the Liliana plus proliferate 4 times, or the extra turn. I guess I'll give them the extra turn. But then they're just going to wheel again, aren't they? Omniscience. So we can't give them the Omniscience, can we? Got to put that away. Sure. So they're going to get an extra turn, and they're going to draw 4 cards. But they don't get the 1/1s at least, I guess. This is so annoying. Even without the Field of the Dead, this Golos isn't even their general. That's the hilarious part here. I kind of just want them to play loads of creatures. Okay. I love how they're slow rolling me when they've got like the insane advantage. Fair enough. If you have 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. Being an upkeep trigger. Sure, that's an interesting. It's an interesting card to put in a 5-color deck. Mordenkainen. Okay. So they're actually going for this Wincon, which is ridiculous, but fair enough. Brainstorm, wowzers. I mean, I suppose it's quite a fun way to try and win, but they're certainly... I feel like they've tried to go for it a bit too soon. Maybe hold it back a bit. Okay, well, we're definitely going to kill all things. then what else could we do? So this is on 7, which is actually absurd here. Can we just win? So the swords you control will deal damage to a permanent player. It deals double damage. Double plus triple. Okay, let's just see what happens. As they say, blocking... Sorry, math is for blockers, isn't it? I mean, oh, come on. Don't be such a... Yeah. Can someone do the maths for me? Let's have a look. So that... so that would have been... If a source would deal damage to a opponent player, it deals double damage. So it means 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 22 times 3. Oh, that's so amazing. Oh, I just wish I got the hit in. Look at that, look. The opponent does everything they want. They could do everything they want all day long, but they can't take losing to such like a unique way like this. That's so annoying. Oh well. It's just the way it is. Okay, so we go first against a Maronora. I always have trouble saying the name of this card, but it is Maronora. Nora. Anyway. I'm going to try to avoid saying this because it's just embarrassing at this point. All the rats have fear, which means they can't be blocked except by artifacts and or black creatures, and they can tap, sack a rat, create a 1/1 rat. Whereas X is equal to the number of rats you control. So that's pretty scary, actually. I've only kept this hand because of the Cathartic Reunion, so let's hope it pays off. Okay, so they didn't remove it, which is good. So we definitely want to do this now. Probably get rid of the Torbran and the Burning Suns, yeah. They're just a little bit out of range for now. Nice. Okay, so we've got some decent cards back. Rat Colony. So it is a Rat Colony deck, and that's exactly why I kept the Molten Blast. So we could kill it now, we could wait. I guess there's no rush, is there? So we will be taking 3 damage in the next turn. So let's go Strike It Rich now, and then we can find some prisoners during the opponent's turn. So yeah, I'm happy to move on to them. So as expected, it's more rats. So the deck will just be 600,000 of these rats. And then EOT will find some prisoners, and we will look at the top cards of their deck, hoping to get a land. 3 lands in a row, that is pretty insane. Okay. So, what to do now? We might as well play the Swamp, because it says until the end of your next turn, so we might as well do that. We could go for the Purphoros, we could go for the Molten Blast. We could Demolish. Purphoros doesn't lead into anything else. So maybe it would have been good to have kept the Burning Suns avatar, but I think for now, I think we're just going to Demolish. So we're going to take 6, but this does mean they can't cast 2 rats in their turn. So it's a single rat. We're still going to take 8, which is quite a bit. Okay, so we get a couple of removal spells here, so this is going to be vital. So yeah, let's get rid of some of these dudes. It's going to be important to stay alive. So we should only be taking 3 to 4 in our following turn. But yeah, still quite a bit of damage. If their whole hand is just rat collies and not lands. Okay, yeah, we need a board wipe now. Down to 10. Flame Spill, so that's another way to kill one of the guys. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I guess we could... That's not looking good, is it? Because if they play 2 more rats, that's still going to be enough to kill us, isn't it? So I guess let's just use our mana and make a blocker. But yeah, if they play 1 more rat, then that's it for us. Surely all they do is play the Marinora here. So yeah, just overwhelmed by rats, I guess. Yeah, that's just the way it is sometimes. If you don't get board right against this kind of deck, yeah, you're just screwed. Yeah, that's a shame. Oh well, moving on to the next game. Oh, I do love a good mono on mono match. Mono red versus mono black. I like this hand as well. All we need is just an extra mountain, and it would make it perfect because we can use the Wily Goblin here. Yara's going to join us to hell and back every time they play a black creature. Going first is good with Robber the Rich because it means that they have more cards in hand than us to start with. Land doesn't quite cut the mustard there, but hopefully we get our own land soon. Or reassembling a skeleton. Yes, we get a land. Perfect. Swing in. Ooh, Nightmare Shepherd. That would be pretty good if we could cast that. Not going to block. Rightly so. Do we go for the greedy play or the evil play? Always evil. Never leave your home without a stone rain, guys. Opponent goes first with Orvar the All form. It's not a very commonly seen general, actually. So let's have a look. Changeling, so it's all types. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. That's pretty bonkers. So if you unsummon one of your creatures, you create a copy of it. And whenever a spell ability the opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token. So that ability doesn't work in this format, unfortunately. But I do like the applications this has. So if you've got a lot of blue protection spells, like give something hexproof, you get a copy of the thing you target. It's pretty crazy. What is it? It's a 3/3. Okay. I don't think I'm going to waste a bolt on the Augur here. I want to kill the Orvar, to be honest. The artwork's pretty cool. It's interesting how it's like communing with some tentacle stuff. I don't really get the lore behind that. Don't really know much about Kaldheim, to be honest, apart from it's like a Viking thing going on. But let's go for the Cold Steel Heart here. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments below with any flavour around Orvar. It doesn't really strike a bell when I think about the story from Kaldheim. All I know from Kaldheim is Vorinclex went there and it killed stuff a lot. 3 mana up and they have an Essence Scatter. So I wonder what they're going to do here. So let's go for the Ornithopter. Interesting. And they're probably going to try and cast Orvar on the next turn. Or maybe not, who knows. If they do, they'll be shields down, so I guess we'll just pass a turn here. I'm actually quite grateful that they didn't counter this, because it's always useful having a bit of ramp, and it can block the Augur. Sweet, so here comes Orvar. So I think we're going to bolt it now. Nice, so now their shields are down for a turn, so this would be a good time to resolve something like the Moonveil Regent. Because it's just amazing card advantage here. Or, saying that, if we go for the Purphoros, then we can cheat stuff in. But, saying that, I do want to have the Moonveil Regent on the battlefield as well. And yeah, we'll pass the turn back. So, it says, whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each of the spell's colours. So, it at least always says draw 1, discard your hand, draw 1. And when it dies, it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of colours among opponents you control. So it's only ever going to deal 1 when it dies. It's not the greatest card from a monocolour deck, but I still think being able to draw when you are top decking is fantastic. Strike it rich. So let's go to combat. If they're not going to cast anything, then I guess we don't have to either. You can have a bounce spell with an Essence Scatter backup, perhaps? Blink of an eye. Okay, fair enough. So I guess we'll go for the Purphoros now. And we'll strike it rich as well. They'll hit us for 1, but doesn't matter. We've now got a lot of spicy things we can do. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. We can We can cheat in the Incinerator or the Marauders to deal double damage. Although this is probably best as a win con. Let's see what they do. So killing Orvar was vital there, because if they had this just sitting about, they could have blinked their own guy. Oh no, not going to get some kind of infinite stuff going on, are we? Hope not. If they keep bouncing this and make copies of it with Orvar out, that's going to be bad. Maybe we want to get the Inferno out here. Although it can't be countered. But yeah, I think it's important to get the damage out. So now they're going to have to choose between blinking our Inferno or blinking their Shipwreck Dowser, I guess. Maybe it was a bit foolish of me to do that. I probably should have killed the Dowser with a Lava Coil, because if it comes in, they can keep getting spells back from their graveyard to hand. Don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do. We could make them choose, because we can just bounce in an Anglers Marauder. So not bounce. We could cheat in a Marauder in our turn, and then they'll be torn about which one they're going to bounce to our hand. We could be mega aggressive here. We could even go for a Lava Coil on the Shipwreck Dowser, and that would force their hand, wouldn't it? So yeah, let's try and kill the Shipwreck. Pretty sure they're going to want to keep that alive, because they can just do infinite bouncing with the blink of an eye. Wow, interesting. And you know what? I'm going to put into play the Incinerator here. See what they do. It's going to have haste. Go to combat. So the bounce Incinerator just comes back to our hand and it doesn't have to be sacrificed. They might bounce the Inferno though. Oh, I don't know if that was a good move or not. I can do it again next turn. It didn't cost me anything really. Down to 13. They're playing a risky game here. I think they're, yeah, I don't know. I reckon it would have been better to bounce the Inferno, although it has haste by default, I guess. So, wow, Purphoros. I didn't realise how good Purphoros was against blue. It's actually pretty crazy. Not hitting a land drop's quite annoying. I guess let's do it again. Let's put the Incinerator into play. And then we can put in the Anglers Marauders. Interesting. So they bounced the Purphoros here. That would be bad because it means like we just don't have haste, and then they've just kind of screwed us over. Yeah, that is something I didn't actually think about. Sublime Epiphany, wowzers. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good move. It could have been a lot worse for us if they had. Oh man, they should have just bounced the Purphoros. That would have been the big brain move, because it gives my other creatures haste. It means I wouldn't be able to attack with the Incinerator or the Marauders. Double blocking. Okay. Why did they double block there? Why did they double block? No idea. That was strange. So there's definitely hallmarks here of a player that hasn't necessarily used the deck very long. So they're going so far as to not play anything. I mean, they could have done that in their turn to draw a card, replace it, and then they could have get the land, play the land. Okay, fair enough. So they're just going to counter everything, aren't they? And we can't really do anything about it, so So let's go for... Don't know what to do. I don't really want to lose any of these things. But I guess I've done it now. I guess just make them have something. So go to combat. Weird. So they don't block. Curious. I'm going to bounce it into the roll. It's going to bounce that as well. I'm not sure how effective this is, this plan of action. Okay, in that case, let's try and destroy their crawling barons then. Do they have another counter spell for that? They don't have a counter for that. And yeah, happy to draw that mountain later on. I'm not sure they know how Purphoros works. Like, I mean, yeah, it would have been bad to... What? Why did they counter that trigger? This is so strange. Obviously, this is a new player. There's no explanation for it. That countering did nothing there because there was no trigger. That would have done anything. All that trigger was to sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, so 13 mana. Inferno can't be countered. So let's go for that. It has haste anyway. It's probably a blue player's nightmare. They have to bounce this. Or exile, I guess. Commit. Oh, that's a nice answer. See, I'm really confused now because they do weird things and they do nice things like that. So, yeah, no idea. If they memory, that would be quite annoying for me because it gets rid of my awesome big creatures. It does mean they're tapped out for the turn, which is incredibly risky. Purphoros really ridicules the Essence Scatter sat in their hand for all this time. Quite funny. Memory doesn't really do anything to serve them. Okay, other merfolk. Whenever you cast a merfolk, you may tap it on tap something. Is this some kind of merfolk deck? Interesting, so it's a merfolk build. Inferno's on top. Fire Prophecy could get rid of the Mirror Readery here. See, I feel like they're going to flash a merfolk in to tap my attacker. So let's try and kill it now. They can counter it, but I don't want them to be able to stop what I'm doing here. We're going to put the Ruin Blaster away, just because they've got the counter spell, so it's not going to be very effective. Activate the ability. See, that's where you want to use the Tail's End, really. And let's see what they do. I mean, they're obviously obsessed with bouncing my things. Okay. Are we going to get to deal any damage? Or they're just going to bounce stuff? Bounce it again. Right, okay. So they're actually losing value here. I mean, it is a tempo victory, but, like, using a permanent card for a temporary solution, not sure. I guess that's the nature of the build, isn't it? They want to be able to target their things with a lot of bounce spells, put them into their hand. I mean, how many more bounce spells can they possibly have? I mean, I guess that's a crazy question in a deck that's a bounce theme. They're going for memory. Holy moly. So they're going to refill our hand. I guess they're counting on us not getting any big things, which did actually work there. So, what should we do? Yeah, I'm going to use Throw of Possibility to hopefully get something big. So we got the Silver-clad Ferocidons. Tectonic Rift. Maybe we could go for the slow game and start going for the lands. Okay, let's go for the Ferocidons. Just hardcast that. Swinging for 8. So they're going to have a bounce spell in their turn or they're dead. Whenever it's dealt damage, each opponent sacks a permanent. Wow. So I could actually frostbite it myself, which is pretty interesting. Doesn't matter where the damage comes from. Okay. Pearl Trident, is that gonna do anything? I don't think frostbiting the Purphoros is gonna do the job here. Probably gonna have to frostbite the Pearl Trident, because ideally we want to get rid of the blocker, don't we? So making them sack something isn't viable right now when we have lethal on board. So before they draw, let's try to frostbite. They need to counter this or they're dead. Or they need to bounce the silver-clad Purphoros twice. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I do wonder if... Emancipation. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe we go for the modest victory. Just some low-key stuff. I mean, if they bounce the Purphoros here, we can just put it into play, can't we? Okay, let's just do this for now. Let's not get greedy. And yeah, very unusual game there. Quite a few missteps, but that's just the way the game is sometimes. You gotta read the situation a bit better, I think.
If you enjoyed watching this video, why not try some of my other videos on my channel? And don't forget to support me by hitting the like and subscribe button for more content like this.